Kurt Weiler with the Osceola here with Freddie Stevenson. Freddie, how's it going?
It's going well, man. I'm excited about everything that's been taking place right now, and I'm looking forward to getting into things with you, man. It's always love with you, man. So I'm excited to chop it up and catch up with you.
Yeah, we've talked before. I mean, I've written about, and I know done interviews with you. I think for a previous podcast about kind of your story, and obviously now it's gone from the book to a documentary about you and others. I guess what was the process? How did that process kind of begin with the documentary?
So when I wrote my book in 2019, it was like a 4-year kind of campaign. The first 2 years, we had okay success, but then in 2021, we launched the ebook and kind of rebranded everything, and that's when the book caught a lot of momentum and became a bestseller, and it caught the eyes of a lot of different producers in Hollywood. I actually was in the talks with some guys over from Netflix, but that never really materialized. And then a guy from Warner Brothers was telling me how he was trying to branch out and do his own thing, and we ended up getting a deal done at the end of 2021 and started shooting everything at the beginning of 2022.
So Trials to Triumph, I should say, is the name of your book, is also the name of the documentary. I guess I know you tell your story in it. I guess what all else, how did you find other people to kind of be who had those inspirational type stories?
Man, I literally got, I came across all these people. Every single person that's in the film, I have real life relationships with. It's not just something where we just put people together that we thought would have been good for the story, And to be honest, we tried it, and a lot of people throughout the process weren't, they didn't have the same passion about it that we did, and it just wouldn't work. They wouldn't have worked on camera. They would have made the process difficult, and this process, although we were doing it, to tell our stories and impact lives across the world, it was also a celebration, man. Like, a lot of us have been through so many different situations, so we didn't want anybody to bring any bad energy to this process. So yeah, man, like every single person you see in the film, we have real life relationships with, and you kind of see that play out on camera.
Yeah, I guess what can you speak to? I mean, I don't want you to kind of give it all away. I know your story obviously is the anchor of that. I mean, what can you tell about your story? And I mean, what did it mean? I mean, to get to, I mean, after the book, like you said, had that moment where it blew up, to get to kind of translate your story into a documentary setting?
And it meant the world, and still now, like, I don't know if it's truly hit me yet. Like, just seeing, how many people are, showing the film love, and some of the people that, have watched the film. Like, just last week, we ended up on Entertainment Weekly as one of the top films of the week. And that was crazy to me, just, and especially just, just kind of going through the process, especially as independent filmmakers, not having any funding behind us, just, creating this project out of pocket, and not necessarily, on my end, not necessarily knowing how to go about things. And, when you get to the point where you want to enter it in festivals, you're like, does this make sense for the budget? Do we want to enter everything into the festivals, or focus more on something else, take a different approach? So we didn't do the festival thing, and a lot of people told us that we wouldn't get the film picked up if we didn't do the festivals. And like literally a month or two after releasing it independently, you have Gravitas Ventures, who's like the top distribution company for independent filmmakers. They picked the film up. So, just to have all of these things play themselves out is surreal.
I can only imagine it's pretty gratifying to kind of bet on yourself and on your project like that and have it pay off like that.
And that's what we've been doing from day one. Like, just, a lot of my story, I know a lot of people are just learning about it, coming up, in my environment, being homeless at one point, just having all these different people telling you all the things that you couldn't go on to accomplish. And I just remember, in high school, after I had that crazy injury, and doctors were telling me that I'd never play football again. And then, I went on to have a successful career and have an opportunity to play in the NFL. So, I'm no stranger to betting on myself. And, we put the work in, so we truly believe, when the opportunity is there, we're gonna take advantage, and that's one thing, you're seeing play out. We put the work in, and we got a good team around us.
I know you talked about, I know you had a big premiere, and then I think it was on like a more independent website where there's kind of only one place you could get it. And now I know it's kind of available to rent by on YouTube, on Amazon, on Apple, pretty much anywhere you would want to like rent a movie kind of digitally. What has that feedback been like as just more people have been able to see it, has been more widely available?
And this, it's been amazing. A lot of people, especially, I knew it just because I'm an Amazon guy. Like everything, funnels through Amazon for me, films, whatever the case may be. So I knew once we got on Amazon, that would be big. And then finding out about Apple TV was huge as well. And then, the other platforms as well, YouTube, all these other platforms that films are streamed on digitally. I just knew having it on, available on wider platforms would give us a better result and have more people, buzzing about the film. And that's just how it goes sometimes. It's kind of like, getting that offer in high school, when we were releasing it independently, you're like that kid that has talent, but everybody's like, okay, well, what is he going to do? But then when you get picked up by all these platforms, it's like, okay, now this kid has an offer. Maybe we need to check him out.
Yeah. I know you talked about, your wife tells a story in it, and your dad tells his story in it, right? I guess is there one story in particular? Don't kind of give it away. We want people to watch, but one story that really you think beyond yours really just had a huge impact on you during the process.
I mean, it was all, special, to be honest. And that's kind of, a cliche answer, but like literally, like once we got to the end of filming, I told the producers, because I was very involved in the process, and once we got to the end, I was like, from my end, I'm shutting it down. I don't want to see anything else. Send it over to me once you feel like it's ready, because that's the only way I'm truly going to know if it's ready. Like if I can watch this film from an unbiased perspective and it gets me in my feelings, like then I know like we're ready. But I'm gonna judge it hard. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna judge it hard. But when they put it together, like on like the third try, and then they like got me crying and all these different things, I'm like, man, all right, we're ready. But if I had to pick one, it'd be my mother. Just her experiencing these moments after sacrificing so much for us to get to this point, and being able to see parents, even though I'm an adult now, I'm still my parents' child. So it hurt them a lot seeing my dreams, not fulfilled the way that I would have liked them. And now to see all of the struggles that we experienced along the lines kind of being told and shared with the world, and the world is responding to them and being inspired and impacted, it gives you a sense of purpose in a different way and makes you feel like, all right, maybe everything was lining up for this moment from the beginning.
Along those lines, you talked to, you've talked a lot about, the platform your book provided, and the platform, I guess, your football career provided with the book and all that, getting to share your story. I'm sure was a cathartic experience. How cool was it seeing so many people you're close to kind of get that same experience of sharing their story and seeing the impact it's had on other people?
Man, it's dope. And that's one thing, I want to inspire people to do, man. And get out there and tell their story. One of the big themes in this film, you have a lot. You choose which one you take away, but it's finding your voice. And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of the people that are telling their stories throughout the film, they struggle finding their voice and using their platform to make an impact. And I truly believe it's going to help a lot of people out there that know they have purpose, that know they can go on and do great things, but they're straddling the fence. They're scared to take that leap. It's going to help them take that leap of faith and understand, like, you can go achieve great things.
What's next for Trials to Triumph? What's next for you in this world?
And it's a lot in store for Trials to Triumph. We're not going to give you spill all the beans, but yeah, we already done signed some deals with some other distribution streaming platforms for later in the year. So it'll be on some of your favorite subscription-based platforms. We really put we put our all into this. And just to see, us experiencing these moments and people loving the film, it's special. So a lot of the things that we weren't able to get when I turned down some deals in the beginning from some of these companies, and now we have the opportunity to have these same conversations, but we did it our way. That's kind of dope. Like truly better myself, and it paid off.
Well, I got you here. We got to talk a little Florida State football. It's the passion. I mean, like I said, kind of gave you the start to the platform that you've been able to build this kind of media empire of sorts off of. I guess I know you were pretty candid in being, a former player who's kind of an early adapter into buying into Mike Dorval as a guy who'd kind of restore Florida State football to what it was. I guess how validating was watching the 2022 season because of kind of your early faith?
Yeah, well, not really from that. It's just more so it was just for everybody else shut up. Everybody else was, expecting him to come in from day one. And the part of it is they just, you have those people that just want to find something negative. Like Florida State at that point, everything was going wrong. And a lot of people just didn't believe anything would go well for us. So it's like Mike Norvell comes in and nobody wants to give him a chance. And it's like, nah, man, this guy has shown a lot. Just from first and foremost, from a team identity standpoint, and just when you want to turn a program around, that's first and foremost. We had a program for years that had just given up and gotten away from what Florida State was. And he completely embraced that challenge and didn't run from it. And he didn't accept anything less than the standard. And over the past few years, we've gotten in, went back and forth with people on Twitter, because while we while we love Coach, a lot of people would kind of give him, a leeway for games that we should have in the past. But the thing about it is Coach is a coach that wants to win championships. And I know how people like him are wired. They don't want your excuses for them. And just to see him, have that success last year and continue to commit to the process, it's dope to see. And he's a great guy. You ever been around him, man? It's hard not to, like Mike Norvell. And I'm excited to see what they do this year. I know man, you can go on all day. Like the things that they did with Jordan Travis, some of these players that they've gotten to believe in themselves. And one of the ones like I loved from last season was Tate, man, the Rodemaker. It's like you get this guy that struggled with confidence to believe in himself, and now we have a backup that can completely ball if anything ever happens to our QB1. And he struggled with that confidence in the past, and they didn't give up on him when everybody else was telling them to give up on him. And you see that a lot with this coaching staff. They get guys that believe in themselves, and a lot of this game, man, it's mental. And if you have confidence to go out there, all these guys have skill sets to play. They got scholarships for a reason, but a lot of them lack that confidence. So them getting these guys to believe in themselves is huge.
Yeah, I know an offensive guy yourself. As we've started to see what kind of we've started to see Mike Norvell's offense look like I think we thought it was going to look. Is there a little bit of you? I mean, man, I wish I could play in this offense. Like it seems like a pretty. I mean, they call it the offense for playmakers.
Man, it literally is like he doesn't show favoritism. If you can make plays for him on the field, you're going to have opportunity to get the ball in your hands. Like seeing the way that he lined different guys up and moved them all over the field to create mismatches, it's dope. And you just never know what to expect. I'm just watching the game. Of course, you watch it from that standpoint of you're analyzing the game, but sometimes I just shut down. I just want to see what they're going to do today. And me being a fullback, I love seeing the creative ways he opens lanes in the running game. Like that's special. And then he's brought back the fullback. So you got to love him for that.
Yeah, speaking of the fullback, how impressed are you with, DJ Lundy seems to take pretty naturally to that role for a guy who's like a primary linebacker.
Man, to be honest, when Lundy came in, I believe it was his first year. I'm not sure. They brought him in a little bit every now and then, to kind of be the lead blocker out of the Wildcat. And you've seen it then, like he was a natural at the position. Like a lot of the things that he was doing is stuff that you see from third year or fourth year guys at that position, like chipping up on defensive tackles on the way to his guy. You like knowing different angles and things. And so like it's crazy. Like I don't know how it's going to play out for him, but I know if he ever wanted to play fullback, I believe he's an NFL fullback.
That's hey, from one NFL fullback to another, that's some high praise. But I think it might be the high school wrestler in him.
Yeah, without a doubt, he looks good out there.
Yeah, I know, talking to you many times, I know a big cause of yours was kind of the importance of former players supporting the organization financially and being Seminole boosters and being active in that regard. I guess as time's gone on, and especially coming off a season like they just had, I mean, what feedback has there been from guys you played with, guys you met while playing there, in terms of kind of being more active supporters?
You just got different viewpoints on it, which I understand, because I was that guy until I kind of, you see the program have down years and you understand like what it takes to be successful. We knew what it took to be successful while we were there, because once, we're coming into, different things and looking at what the programs that we're competing with have, it's like we're still finding ways to win, but how long is this going to last? Like, I don't know. And now when you're trying to turn the program around, you understand. But when you were an athlete and you laid it on the line, some of these athletes kind of feel like they pay their dues, which isn't a bad thing. It's just kind of, the way of thinking. It doesn't make them right or wrong for doing it. But and then just to be honest, man, life's tough. That transition after football for everybody isn't easy. So I hate to say it, but some guys may not have that $50 to give to a program right now, or whatever the case may be. So, you just try to encourage them to support it whatever way they can. And if they can do that, then it's all good. But, some people, they take that further step once they're in a good situation and they support financially. And ultimately, when you get players stepping up and, speaking out about it and get behind these causes, then now you have more players that step up, which makes more fans want to step up. And it just helps the program as a whole.
Freddie, I'm grateful for you you taking the time. Trials of Triumph, available to rent and buy on pretty much anywhere you would want to rent things online, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, pretty much. And I know sounds like some other stuff in the works here soon. I greatly appreciate you taking the time. Anything else to share?
Man, listen, I'm excited about the season this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Noles do. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I don't. And I felt like this last year. I feel like even though we had some holes on the roster, I felt like every game, was games that we should have came out with. But this year, I truly believe most games are going to go in, favorite. But from a standpoint of a team that's still thinking that they're the underdogs, I think it can work out in our favor, and I think we'll actually have a true opportunity this year, to compete for a chance in the college football playoff. So I'm excited. Probably be harder to get into games this year because everybody's buying tickets early. But hey, I'm loving it, man.
I think the season ticket sales are doing pretty well, no doubt. I appreciate you taking the time, Freddie. We'll catch up again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Go Noles.